Does Blackpink only have the same type of music and comeback, or is this just hate talk? Do the producers run out of ideas, or is it people who demand too much of the girls? I decided to reveal Blackpink's entire career to be able to answer these questions on solid ground. It was quite an investigation, and this is what I found. With the release of DDU-DU in 2018, Blackpink has gained huge recognition across the world, and the group's continued growth has reached an extra level. It is undeniable that this era was a watershed for the girls' careers. Just looking at the MV, the colors, the scenario, and listen to the music, you can see a contrast to the previous comeback, as if it was your last. There is a clear difference between these two eras, which helped to change the image of the four girls who now portray themselves as strong, independent women. Blackpink has left the playful, summery vibe behind. They are not teenagers anymore, but full-grown women. So what can come after "I may look sweet, but I don't act like it"? You can just throw back to a different time and space by showing Blackpink being sweet, naive, and unbothered again. You'll be inconsistent and wouldn't make sense to the narrative they are building. Then, a next comeback a year later, Kill This Love. The horns at the beginning make a statement. This comeback is more shocking than ever before. Look at how the weapons in their fingers by the chorus of DDU-DU turn into bazookas now, and there are literally explosions on the set. We're not only going to hit you, but we are here to kill. That's the message of the whole concept. The outfits are more dangerous, the ending is even more devastating with all those people dancing behind them like their own private army. Plus, there's the word "kill" in the title track. That's bold as F. Kill This Love was built to be their apex. With this release, a new step was reached by the group in a steady increase despite the delay of the comebacks. Dear listener, what could possibly be even greater than Kill This Love in terms of production, aesthetic, and sound? So, 2020 came, the year of another anthem. How you like that? We all know this song. This song is meant to be a slap in the face to haters, and once again they delivered everything. Addictive choreography, incredible sets, a great rap, and impeccable vocals. Everything was well architected, and yes, we can say that How You Like That was even more overwhelming than the previous ones. The conceptual and artistic team is to be congratulated because visually they managed to provoke an even greater effect than the previous comebacks.
Lisa's triumphant entrance in a sweeping black dress. See not one, but two big Trojan horses. They were dressed in traditional Korean clothes and the world map on the ceiling.
Now what? This is the moment where the big question makes its entrance. The comebacks of 2018, 2019, and 2020 were indeed the same, or is it because some mashups fit the three of them just right? There are factors that led to a similarity in the three songs. One needed to overcome the effect caused by the other to have even more impact on the public.
But let's go beyond that.
DDU-DU, Kill This Love, and How You Like That also have the same concept. Girl crush or girl boss. Rosé, Lisa, Jennie, and Jisoo have the attitude of women who take the reins of their own lives, who don't lay down for haters,
and who realize that suffering for love is a stupid thing at that moment.
In other words, in terms of message, we have very similar things. As the melodies are heavy, imposing, and the choreographies are aggressive, it is to be expected that the interpretations and gestures of the girls end up being quite similar from one MV to another. I brought here some examples. This Jennie, the angry Jennie we all love, but we are really used to it by now. Then there's Bossy Lisa, which I love.
Same face, same gesture.
Then Hopeless Jisoo.
Poor girl, always looking tired and lonesome.
And finally Rosé. She is either revengeful or naive, but most of the time she's coming to get you, but not as bold or as hard as the members from the rap line. And before I come up with something to cancel me, here I'm not talking about them having to change their faces or the way they seem to offer us something different. I'm talking about how the vibe of the songs dictates the facial expressions and body gestures they have to do. In other songs like Ice Cream, Stay, even Whistle, there is a much wider range in their facial expressions. We see that the phrase Blackpink only makes girl crush is a fallacy because there are other types of comebacks that the group has made, so much so that in Blackpink's debut year 2016, the first 4 singles released by the group were one different from the other, in terms of concept, colors, vibe, song structure, etc. So Blackpink is able to make different songs besides the girl crush ones. Therefore, the main question here is, why do Blackpink's producers, managers, or company choose the same vibe to come back every year? That's the real question here. Maybe it's about having a formula or some group identity, or maybe it has to do with the audience expectations. Anyway, we'll get more into that in the next video of this series. I'll see you there.